Hi everyone, welcome back to a new lesson with me today, and a very belated Happy New Year to all of you too. Unfortunately, I have been away a little bit longer than I had hoped, but I am back, and I'm back with a new phrasal verb lesson. Today's lesson will teach you 10 phrasal verbs that can be used to talk about or to describe change. Change in people, change in objects, or change in places. So with all that said, let's get straight into the lesson and have a look at the first phrasal verb. The first phrasal verb is to bring about, and if you bring about something, you make something happen, especially changes in a situation. For example, it's high time the government brought about some changes to improve the local parks. Remember, it's high time triggers the unreal past. Okay, it means that they should do something immediately, but we say it's high time plus the past simple or the past continuous is also acceptable too. Another example of bring about could be overcooking the sauce could bring about a bitter taste. Number 2 is to turn into, and to turn into means to change from one thing to another thing. For example, they turned the old table into a beautiful bench. Or when the snow melted, the snowman turned into slush. Slush, if you don't know what that means, that basically means melted snow or very watery snow. It's that substance that is formed when the snow begins to melt. Number 3 is a 2 for 1 because you get 2 phrasal verbs in this example. You have to phase in and to phase out. And they basically mean to gradually introduce or to gradually remove, with the case of phase out, something, or to make small changes in stages. So little by little you phase something in or phase something out. For example, the government is gradually phasing in a new tax system, or the computer system will completely change as we gradually phase out our paper records. Number 4 is to move on to something, and this means to change what you were doing in order to do something else. For example, after she finished secondary school, she moved on to university. So she changed from secondary school to university. Or, I think we should change the topic. Let's move on to something else. So in this case, you were talking about one topic, and for whatever reason, you want to change the topic, and so you move on to something else. Number 5 is to do away with something. And if you do away with something, you get rid of it or you stop doing something. For example, she was shocked to see that they had done away with the old hospital in order to build new apartment buildings. Or, it's time we did away with all of this unnecessary admin work. Number 6 is to bounce back, and this means to start to be successful again after a difficult period. For example, since the market crash in March 2020, stock prices have bounced back. Or I'm sure she'll bounce back after a much needed break from work. Number 7 is to call for, and this is a great one because call for often actually collocates, it often goes with the word change. So it means to demand something publicly, often some sort of change. For example, the board members were calling for change after the latest sales results. Or after the public had called for change, the government knew that it had to take action. Number 8 is to make something into something. And this is actually a synonym for turn into. And if you make something into something else, you simply change it from one thing to another. For example, they made the garage into an office space. Or she made the leftover fruit into a pie. Number 9, the penultimate phrasal verb is to make somebody or make something over. And if you make somebody or something over, you make changes to improve them or to improve it. For example, after she was made over at the beauty salon, she had never felt so amazing. Or they have called in an expert to make over the failing marketing team. To call in is a phrasal verb from a previous lesson, and this basically means to ask an expert to come and help you. The last phrasal verb is maybe my favourite here. It's to spring up. If you know what spring is, it basically means to go up suddenly. So it means for things to appear or develop suddenly. For example, with the government investment in the area, prestigious shops and bars are springing up all over the place. Or, it's great to see that so many new businesses have sprung up over the last 6 months. So those are the 10 phrasal verbs that I have for you today. I hope you have learned a few new phrasal verbs today. If you have, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment in the comment section below. Why not even practice using one of the new phrasal verbs today? Thank you as always for watching, and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.